Destiny stood at the edge of the basketball court, the warm African sun kissing her caramel skin as she dribbled the ball with precision. The rhythmic pounding against the ground matched the steady beat of her heart. Her long, curly hair flowed in the wind, and her sharp brown eyes scanned the court. She was one of the best players in her school, and today she was determined to prove it again. Her father, Mr. Adeyemi, had always been her biggest supporter. "My princess," he would call her, a warm smile stretching across his face whenever he watched her play. But since her mother's death, things had changed. Her stepmother, Evelyn, had never loved her, but in the beginning, she at least pretended to tolerate her. Now, after 2 years of growing resentment, the pretense had vanished. Evelyn had suffered complications during childbirth with the twins, Malik and Mikal, and had been told she could never have another child. While she adored her sons, the thought of never having a daughter that could outshine Destiny, gnawed at her soul. Evelyn's hatred toward Destiny had turned from cold indifference to outright cruelty. She would subtly exclude Destiny from family outings, make sure she got the smallest portion at meals, and speak to her in a way that made Destiny feel like she didn't belong. She even convinced Mr. Adeyemi to send Destiny's nanny, the woman who had cared for her since birth, away under the guise that Destiny was too old to be spoiled. But the twins adored their big sister. Though only 6, they saw the way their mother treated Destiny. When Evelyn was particularly cruel, they would sneak into Destiny's room at night, their little arms wrapping around her as if to shield her from their mother's bitterness. One evening, everything changed. Destiny had just returned from basketball practice when she heard shouting from her father's study. She paused at the door, her heart pounding. "I will not stand for this. Evelyn!" Her father's voice boomed. "She's growing into a woman, Adeyemi. She's getting more beautiful every day, and the way you dote on her, people are beginning to talk. It's unnatural for a man to love his daughter that much." Evelyn's voice was laced with venom. Destiny gasped. How could her stepmother say such a horrible thing? Her father was silent for a moment before he spoke, his voice calmer but firm. "You are my wife. But if you cannot find it in your heart to treat Destiny with kindness, then I will have no choice but to—" "Divorce me?" Evelyn finished for him, laughing bitterly. "Go ahead, but remember, I raised the twins while you were drowning in grief. You will not take them from me." Destiny didn't hear the rest of the conversation. She fled to her room, her heart breaking. She had always known her stepmother hated her, but to twist her father's love for her into something vile. That night, Evelyn made her move. Destiny was woken by a harsh shake. Groggy, she sat up to find Evelyn standing over her with cold, furious eyes. "You are leaving this house, Destiny," Evelyn hissed. Before Destiny could react, she was dragged from her bed. The house staff was asleep, and her father was out of town for a business trip. Evelyn pulled her toward the front door, a bag already packed for her. "You think you're special because your father loves you." Evelyn sneered. "Let's see how special you are out there. Alone." Destiny fought, but Evelyn was strong. Before she knew it, she was outside, the heavy gates of their mansion locking behind her. She pounded on them, calling for help, but no one came. Tears blurred her vision as she walked aimlessly into the night. She had no one, no mother, no father, no home. But Destiny was not weak. She wiped her tears and clenched her fists. If Evelyn thought she had broken her, she was wrong. Destiny would survive. No, she would thrive. She had her talent. She had her strength. She had her mother's spirit inside her. And one day, she would return. Not as the broken girl Evelyn had tried to destroy, but as someone greater. Destiny would make her name known. Destiny stumbled through the dark streets, her heart pounding with fear and anger. The mansion that had been her home was now just a shadow behind her. She knew her stepmother would lie to her father, convincing him that she had run away. But she wasn't alone. She had to find help, someone who cared. Her mind immediately went to Ms. Asante, her favorite teacher. Ms. Asante had always been there for her, offering guidance and encouragement. Destiny reached the nearest public phone booth and, with trembling hands, dialed the number her teacher had once given her, just in case. When Miss Asante answered, Destiny burst into tears. "Destiny." "What's wrong?" Miss Asante's voice was laced with concern. "My stepmother. She threw me out," Destiny choked out. "I have nowhere to go." Within 30 minutes, Miss Asante arrived, wrapping Destiny in a warm embrace before taking her home. Over tea, Destiny told her everything. Miss Asante wasted no time. She called Destiny's father. When Mr. Adeyemi heard the truth, his fury was unmatched, but he knew confronting Evelyn immediately would only alert her. Instead, they agreed that Destiny would stay with Miss Asante for now. Her father would pretend not to know where she was while making plans for her future. The following morning, Destiny remembered the number her nanny, Auntie Rose, had secretly left her before she was dismissed. She dialed with hopeful anticipation. The moment she heard Auntie Rose's voice, Destiny wept. "Baby girl, where are you?" Auntie Rose asked, her voice filled with worry and relief. "I'm safe, Auntie, but I need you." Auntie Rose wasted no time. With her father's help, a small but beautiful house was bought for Destiny, and Auntie Rose moved in to care for her. Mrs. Asante visited regularly, ensuring Destiny was both emotionally and academically supported. Meanwhile, Evelyn basked in the relief of Destiny's absence, believing she had finally rid herself of her husband's beloved daughter. She focused on creating a perfect family, oblivious to the growing distance between her and her husband. The twins, however, felt the loss deeply. They knew their mother had played a role in Destiny's disappearance, and resentment grew in their hearts. With a newfound sense of purpose, Destiny threw herself into her studies and sports. Her father, though still living with Evelyn, spent as much time as possible with her. As her talent in basketball flourished, she led her school to a national championship victory. Universities from around the world sent her scholarship offers, recognizing both her athletic and academic excellence. Evelyn, noticing her husband's frequent absences, grew suspicious. She convinced herself he was having an affair. But what she didn't realize was that his attention was not on another woman. It was on his daughter. In his heart, he had already detached from Evelyn, drawn instead to the kindness and strength of Ms. Asante. In time, he made his decision. He purchased a home where Destiny and Auntie Rose could live comfortably. He visited often, and his bond with Ms. Asante deepened. Soon, love blossomed between them, though they kept it discreet. Years passed, and Destiny's success only grew. When her high school graduation approached, her father saw the perfect opportunity. He invited Evelyn and the twins, under the pretense that the daughter of a friend was graduating. Excited for a high society event, Evelyn readily accepted. The night of the graduation was grand. Evelyn was shocked and angry to see Destiny. She glared at her husband, knowing he had deceived her into coming. Meanwhile, the twins were very happy to see her. As the valedictorian, Destiny stood at the podium, her confidence radiant. She thanked those who had shaped her journey, Ms. Asante, Auntie Rose, and most of all, her father. Then, with a knowing smile, she turned to Evelyn. "To the woman who tried to break me," she said, her voice steady, "thank you. Because of you, I found my true strength. You thought casting me away would destroy me, but instead, it made me rise." Gasps filled the auditorium as Evelyn's face paled. The crowd jeered, and whispers of her cruelty spread like wildfire. Humiliated, she fled the hall in tears. That night, Mr. Adeyemi made his final move. He filed for divorce, casting Evelyn out of the home she had once ruled with an iron fist. The twins, overjoyed to be reunited with Destiny, chose to stay with their father. Months later, Mr. Adeyemi and Ms. Asante wed in a beautiful ceremony. Destiny, now a college-bound scholar-athlete, stood proudly beside them, knowing she had not only survived, but thrived. Evelyn, alone and disgraced, faded into the past. Destiny's journey had been painful, but in the end, love, perseverance, and justice had prevailed. Her name was Destiny, and she had forged her own fate.